안녕하세요, 스콜라입니다. 오늘도 I Can Read Sleeping Beauty 30일 읽기 도전 시작하겠습니다. 오늘로써 레벨 2 6일째 됩니다. 도전하자! 네, I Can Read Sleeping Beauty 레벨 2 Chapter 1. A king and a queen lived together. They did not have a child. But one day, they had a little daughter. The kingdom was happy. The king and queen had a party. They asked 6 special fairies to come. But the queen forgot to ask a 7th fairy. This fairy was very bad. Chapter 2. The 6 good fairies came to the party. The king and queen welcomed them. The fairies went into the hall. There was delicious food there. The dishes were gold, and the fairies had pretty cups. They had the most beautiful cups in the world. Everything was beautiful, and the fairies were happy. There was a loud sound outside. The bad fairy came. The queen looked outside. The queen was scared. The bad fairy had dragons. The bad fairy walked into the party. The bad fairy cried, "You asked my sisters to come, but you did not ask me." The queen did not know what to say. The queen was scared, but the queen welcomed the bad fairy. The bad fairy sat next to the king, but there was no pretty cup for her. When the bad fairy saw the other cups, she was angry. Chapter 3. After the party, the little princess came to the room. The little princess smiled. The little princess looked so lovely. Everyone loved the little princess. The first fairy said, "My gift to the princess is happiness." "I will give her money," said the second fairy. "She will be healthy," said the third fairy. "And I will give her beauty," said the fourth fairy. "And fun, that is my gift to her," said the fifth fairy. When the sixth fairy was thinking, the bad fairy came out. "When she is 17, she will poke her finger on a pin. She will die," the bad fairy said. The queen cried, and the king was scared. But the sixth fairy said, "The princess will not die. She will sleep for a long time. Everyone will sleep with her. A prince will kiss the princess and she will wake up." The bad fairy was angry. She ran outside. She left the party. The other fairies also left the party. They were sad. The king sent a message. The king threw away all the pins. There were no more pins. There were no more sharp things. He was happy again. The king and the queen were happy. Everything was fine for a long time. The princess grew up. She was beautiful. Chapter 4. One day, the king and queen went on a trip. The princess went up to a high tower. The princess wanted to see her parents. The princess saw the stairs. She went up and up. Then she was on top of the tower. She saw a door with a key. The princess opened the door. The princess saw a room. There was an old woman in the room. The old woman had a wheel. The princess did not see it before. The princess went into the room. The princess came close to the old woman. "What are you doing?" the princess asked. "I am working," said the old woman. "What is that?" "That is a pin." "I like it," said the princess. The princess touched the pin. The pin poked her finger. She went to sleep. Now it was quiet in the castle. The king and queen came home. When they went inside, they went to sleep. The animals slept. The people in the castle slept. Everyone and everything slept. Then a forest grew in the castle. The forest grew very big and tall. The princess slept, but people did not forget the princess. Many people came to the forest, but they could not go inside. After many years, everyone forgot about the princess. Chapter 5. After many years, a prince came by the castle. The prince was hunting. He was hot and thirsty. The prince saw a small house. He stopped to get some water. The man in the house was very old. The prince looked around. "It is very dark over there. What is over there?" he asked. "It is a forest. There is a castle in the forest. A princess is sleeping in the castle. My grandfather told me this." The old man said, "A princess has been sleeping there? For how long?" asked the prince. "I don't know. A long time," said the old man. The prince thanked the old man. Then the prince went to the forest. Chapter 6. The prince came to the forest. The flowers grew in the forest. The forest opened up for the prince. The prince went to the castle. The prince looked around. The prince was surprised. The animals were sleeping. The people were sleeping too. The prince went into the castle. The prince looked around the room. Then the prince came to the tower. There was a young woman inside. The prince kissed her. Then everyone in the castle woke up. The king and queen woke up. The people woke up. The animals woke up. The princess opened her eyes. The princess loved the prince. "Will you marry me?" he said. The princess said, "Yes." The prince and princess got married. The 6 fairies came to the wedding. The prince and princess lived happily ever after. 네, 감사합니다. 오늘 레벨 2가 끝났고요. 내일부터는 레벨 3로 넘어가겠습니다. 내일 만나요.